and welcome back to Skipper Sandra. I'm your skipper, Sandra. Come crochet away with me. And today we've got a follow-up on a project that I started way back, I'd say 2-3 weeks ago when I stayed the night at my best friend Rhonda's house. We had our girls' weekend and I started a project. So I took it on that road trip down to Grants Pass and then to Jacksonville over the Mother Day weekend, and I had a great time doing that, but I had to stop because I could only crochet so much. And you guys got to see that. Well, Mr. Yip Yip is done, and I am so excited to show him to you. He is fabulous. Look at him. Isn't he great? And he really changes his personality. You can move his googly eyes and his antennae. You can do whatever you want to do with his antennae, and he's great. I've already been using him. I took him down today because I actually had to take him to work to let my coworker, who was the one who got me the yarn for what's that called? Oh yeah, the Secret Santa. She got me the yarn, and I didn't know what I was going to do with it. Remember the whole story behind that, and I discovered that this is what I wanted to do, and I just think he's so malleable. I mean, he just has expressions. It's so much fun. Anyway, I took him to work, and I showed him to my coworker, and of course, as I'm walking down the hallway, people are, hey, what's that? What'd you do? And we had to talk about Mr. Yip Yip, and everybody loved him. And I had him hanging off of my wall, waiting for the day because I didn't want to put him down. And, it was just great to see so many people walk by and just have so much fun seeing him there. And I have to tell you, it is so nice for me when I go in to do my laundry. I mean, who wants to do laundry, really? But when I go in, and that's the first thing, I open the door and I could see down, and there he is. He's got this big face and a big mouth and a nom 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 nom. Yip 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 yip. So let's talk about what I used here. Mr. Yip Yip, I'm going to put him down here. And I actually didn't use all the yarn. I'm really surprised. So I used the Karen Cakes Chunky Cakes. I didn't even use the whole skein. Look at all that's left on this. And this is a pretty big, hefty skein. It is a super chunky, a 6. So that really, you really don't have to, even with bigger yarns, doesn't mean that you're going to be using a lot. It just depends on the pattern. I'll be honest with you. If you look at him, and then, here, I'll have to put this down for a second, Mr. Yip Yip. But I'm going to show you one of the pictures from the pattern. And if you compare them, it looks to me, okay, this is just my opinion, but it looks to me, so if you can see that, and then you see him, I'm going to bring him back and him forward, and doesn't it seem like the body is longer in the pattern versus him? I would say it is. I think it is. But it's same amount of rows and everything, different types of yarn. So she called for it, and again, I love this. So Carissa Browning, I love your pattern writing. It was really easy to follow all the way through. I will admit, you really have to read through the instructions before. What's that old adage? Measure twice, cut once. Carpenters say that all the time. I didn't do that. I goofed. But it's okay. I had extra. Thank goodness, because that would have not been so fun. But she calls for the Bernat blanket, blanket brights, blanket, and baby blanket, and one skein and so she names off several different colors. And she doesn't say what size that yarn is. It gives the amount of yarn you need, but not the size of yarn. And I'd have to look that up, but I'm pretty sure it's not quite as chunky as this, and yet I think he turned out fabulous. So what I did wrong is he actually has a liner. See? Oh, I can do this. See? He just threw up. Whoa! Anyway, so he has a liner, and in her case, she said to do it in black. That's how the original was. But because I was doing blues, and I have blues, and I didn't have any black felt or black fabric that I wanted to use. I had this dark blue. I think it worked out just fine. I like him. I love him. He's great. And so I used that. That's the yarn that I used. And again, as you can see, didn't even use the whole thing. Very little of it was actually used. So I thought that was great. I could potentially make, I'm thinking I could probably make another one of these, another Yip Yip out of this, or I could make something else. But that was, and it was really easy to use. It's super soft. It's really nice, and it has that nice striping. So definitely, I'm going to try this again. I like this. I like this. I'll be honest with you, I'm not a big one for super bulky yarn, but this was fun to crochet with and to work with. I used my driftwood crochet hooks. Those were great. I loved it. It worked great with them. The other thing that I got was I went over to Big 5 and I just got standard ping pong balls for the eyes. You know, it talks about ping pong balls. I'll be honest with you guys, I had no idea how hard these things were. I seem to remember when I was a kid that they were a lot mushier. So cutting, you know, popping holes into these so that I could put the antennae through it was a little on the difficult side, not too much, you know, but I anticipated it be softer. Maybe if you go to like the dollar store or, you know, the cheapy toys, those will probably be thinner and so easier to puncture through. Other than that, it was still easy. I'm not saying that it was difficult, but I think it would have been more difficult. The one thing I will say is that because these are more on the professional level or semi-professional level, I think they're a little above amateur. I'm not sure. It has, as you can see, it has their logo on it. So when I put the holes through, I put it through that side so that I would have the nice clean ball on the other side. As you can see, and then I drew his little googly eyes. It looks like a frog. Anyway, so I did that. And then the antennae were again leftovers. These are leftover pipe cleaners that I have from Valentine's Day, and I got these at the dollar store, you know, and still have them. I don't get rid of things just because I've finished my project. If I have leftovers, I keep them because you never know. That felt, I'm sure, is a leftover from something I've done. Who knows how long ago? Now I could use it. And thank goodness I had extra 2 pieces because, like I said, read through your directions. So I have a lovely daughter. You've met her before, Kat. And for a while there, she was really, really interested in baking. So she was doing all the pastries and that kind of things. I can't tell you what the family has endured in the experiments of my daughter. And she would get so excited and so wanting to get to the end and get it in the oven and get it to pop up and be gorgeous and everything. She wouldn't read through all of the directions clearly. And so we would have these globs of things. They look like, you know, I don't know. You know, it was just weird. And sometimes I remember one time, I think it was, we had too much baking soda, so it was very, very, very salty when it was supposed to be sweet. That was a rude awakening for all of us. But, you know, it was a learning process for her and a good reminder for me when I cut the fabric the first time and realized I didn't read carefully. But good thing I had extra, so it worked out great, and I had a great time. Again, super easy. You can go onto, she has the pattern on Ravelry. We've discussed this before. What do I do with patterns? So now that I have completed my project, I will again, I printed it out. Remember when I originally went on the trip and I had the pattern on my iPad? That was not happy because I went into a lot of black spots where there was no reception and I wound up not being able to do anything because I couldn't get a hold of my pattern. That is bad juju. Okay, when I'm working on a project, I don't want anything interrupting me. You know that thing about when they start talking to you and you're counting your stitches? It's like, 5, 6, 7, 8. The family is finally caught on to, oh, mom's counting. I will wait now. But, you know, the same thing when you're doing a pattern and you can't get to that pattern. So I went back to what I've always done, and that is to print them out. That way, no matter where I am, I can crochet on. And it makes it easier when I need to reference back. I'll be honest with you. It really is. Paper does it, guys. Guys and gals, you know, it just works out. But again, I do make them double-sided, as you can see. Okay, to conserve paper. I do make them double-sided, and I will keep a hold of this. It now goes into my permanent stash of patterns. And when I go through, when I'm looking for a project, I really do go through and try to find patterns that I already have versus patterns that I haven't seen yet. That doesn't mean I don't go searching for patterns. So I'll pull out, and when I'm doing a pattern search for yarn, it's really kind of funny because I'll go through my whole stash of patterns, both the one in my drawer and the one on my computer, because I saved them, right? So if I've actually printed out a pattern, I also have it saved on my computer. If something happens to this paper copy, I know where I can readily find it again if I need it again because I want to recreate it. But I go through those first, and then if I don't find it there, I am the Pinterest fiend, and I will go through that. And since we're on the subject, I'm gonna pop. Can you see his little googly eyes down here? He's just so funny. It's like, ooh, my little. He really is. Yip, 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 yip. I'm gonna put him down. But I want to show you something. So we were talking about patterns, and yes, the disembodied voice. Rhonda had mentioned that in one of the videos when I had moved off screen to go, I could see him in the corner. He's cracking me up. Okay, so I had gone off screen to go look for something, and she's like, we could hear you talking, and it was this disembodied voice. I will have to perfect that technique. But anyway, so we were talking about it. So let's say I'm looking for a pattern, and I will be here soon, but I'm looking for a pattern, and I go through my files. So I go through my paper files, and I have this pattern book, and if you could read there, it says, it's a ball of yarn tapping someone who's going through like a magazine or something, and it says, not now, yarn. I have to find the perfect pattern. And that is so me. That's why I have him here. I love it. And I actually have it tabbed for different people. Like I have blankets, I have Kathy, I have decor, I have jackets, souvenirs, Tori, Preston. I have different people and labels of what I'm. So if I come across a pattern, I'm like, I'm definitely going to make this. I just don't know when. I'll put it in here. Or if I'm on the search. So say I am currently on the search for a jacket. I will put it all under the category of jacket. And then once I've decided that I've had enough search time, then I'll go back and then weed through them and see, depending on the yarn, what I really want to do. And it's really funny because I have, I think I've told you guys, I have a very dear friend of mine who's asked me to be her officiant. And I accepted, of course, and that wedding is now coming up in August. And I'm very, very excited, and I'm going to make myself something very pretty to wear with the dress, which is phenomenal. I am so excited to wear this dress. It's not just your average, everyday bridesmaid's dress because I'm the officiant, so I get to wear something different. I'm very excited. I shouldn't be so snooty, but I am. So that's what I do with my patterns, and I have a great time doing it. I wanted to apologize to you guys. I didn't come on last week. I have been having a really, really hard time with my back being as bad as it's been because of my knee, and my neck has been affected. So there for a while, just turning my head like this was quite painful, to the point where I'd go to the chiropractor and she'd pop me in place, and I'd go like this, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a shoulder there. I can see my shoulder. Welcome, shoulder. I'd missed my shoulder. Couldn't see it there for a while. Knew it was there. But I wanted to apologize to you guys. I really did miss you. I hope you missed me too. But I got to finish that up in between my little bouts and had a really good time doing that. And so now on to the next pattern. So the next project, I'll be honest with you, I'm dying to make another one of these, which I probably will for my girls. Their laundry pods are just in the bag they come in a drawer underneath the washing machine, but everybody really loves him, so I think I'm gonna have to make another one. And I'm looking for excuses to make more Yip Yips to have in the house, because it's just so fun to be able to open the door and just see him hanging there. It's fun. And I fun, you know. Anyway, okay, I'll get off my Yip Yip trip. But the next pattern is going to be a shawl or a jacket or a vest or something to do for the wedding. I have some extraordinary yarn that I had gotten at the CGO Away Market when they had their event here in Portland last year. And I think I mentioned to you guys before, I didn't get a chance to go to take any of the classes or anything, but I got into the marketplace with my best friend Rhonda and my good friend Denny, and we had a fabulous time shopping. Did I ever have a good time shopping? Oh my gosh. But I've got this camel and silk, and it has sequins, and it's stunning, and I completely forgot about it until for some reason I had an epiphany and I now remembered it. So I have that one. I have another yarn that I got there that's really just kind of a mix of stuff, and it's white and it has some crystally stuff to it, and that was supposed to be like a winter wonderland cowl thing that I was thinking of. I have another one that's a greenish bluish kind of a sea green thing, and I was thinking of adding seashells and doing something fun with that. So there's so many things I have going at the same time because you're working on one project and you're doing another. I have to say I'm so excited. I have the first grouping, I guess you would call, of cards that are going to be coming out here really soon. I've been working with my artist, and he's Chris, and he's just phenomenal. He is so much fun, and we've got the first ones almost ready to go to print, so those will be coming out soon. So I wanted to let you guys know about that because that'll be fun. All right, well, that's all I have for you guys today. I'd like to know what's on your hook. What are you working on right now, and what are your plans? We're almost, believe it or not, halfway through the year. I mean, we're almost at the end of May here, guys. So, holy mackerel, you know, we're almost halfway through the year. And my goal every year has been to start my Christmas gifts, purchasing or whatnot, you know, making whatever I'm going to do in July. I'm actually ahead of the game this year. I have some already. Yes, well, actually, have we talked about it? I think we've talked about it. I have. Yes, we have, because I talked to you about how I'm really having to not talk to Rhonda about her family gift for Christmas. And I haven't given it to her. I'm so proud of myself. And as a matter of fact, had it not been that we're talking about it right now, I would have forgotten. So how's that? How's them apples? Anyway, so I've already started. So I'm very excited about that. And I'm even more excited about starting projects. I do have some gifts that I'm planning on. So we'll see how that goes along. And the hardest part is because I really love the gifts that I make, and I know that these are things that people have asked me for. So by the time I start getting them done, I just want to give them to them. So that's part of the problem too. So a lot of times, or most of the times when I make gifts, those go out really quickly. Father's Day is coming up, so if you have any great ideas for Father's Day, share them on my Facebook page. I'd love to meet you there. So, as always, thank you for coming by and spending some time with me. Down below, you can subscribe. You can also hit that little bell, and that will remind you and let you know the next time I upload a video. And thumbs up if you liked the video, and if you didn't, send me a private email or a private message and let me know what I can do to improve, what you guys would like to see. I'd love to see your comments either here or on my Facebook page or on my Instagram. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you'd like to see and what you would like to journey on, and I'd love to share that with you. All right, everyone, I hope you have a great day, have a great weekend, and summer's coming. Yay! We've got plans for that. All right, talk to you soon, and this is Skipper Sandra signing off. Bye, everyone.